All right. So real quick, I wanted to just give you an understanding of why we do lend and borrows, the whole point and how this can bring in interest, how we can earn from it. So to start off, while the market is bullish, we want to hold assets. What makes this such a great place is that we can swap those assets between volatile assets like Ethereum, or we can even make a swap and turn it into USDC if we feel like the market is going to be bearish, right? So if I just thought that, hey, I need to go ahead and take some profit, Ethereum is kind of peaking at the moment. Let me close off some. There's no problem for me to come and swap my Ethereum to stable currency, as it takes a little time to pull up. But you get the point. You know what I mean? Now, another thing that I can do if I believe that Ethereum is bearish is pretty cool. I can even swap my debt. What I mean by that, I mean my debt, I borrowed out $500 right here. I can swap that debt into Ethereum, or I can swap that debt into AVEX if I believe that that's more bearish. So my debt right now is in Ethereum. And it's gonna go, I feel like if Ethereum goes down, then my debt will go down with it, or I can put that debt into another asset that I feel is depreciating, like AVEX. So currently the price of AVEX is what? I believe it's 22, almost $23 right now, right? So if I move my debt into AVEX at $23 and then AVEX goes down to $21, that's a 10% drop, right? Just about. So I would lose 10% of my debt as well. So we call that discharging debt. We like to do debt discharges and we like to hold to collateral. So while I'm holding my Ethereum here by supplying it, I'm earning 2.87%. And even when I borrow an asset, I have to pay this 4%, but those some good fees, right? And it's not like it's time sensitive. As long as I have enough collateral to support my debt, I'm not in any rush to have to pay it back. All right. So cool. We understand that is what we use it with InstaDApp. They have multiple strategies that I'll go over with you so that you can take complete advantage of everything to do here. Next to InstaDApp, we have this same type of concept on multiple networks. With InstaDApp, you have the option of choosing Ethereum, Polygon, Base, Arbitrum, Avalanche, and OP. I don't know why Phantom is here. It shouldn't be there anymore. But everything above OP, you have these networks to use in case you just, well, then I got all my money on Smart Chain or I got my money on Solana. Well, they also have lend and borrow dApps. And I like the lend and borrow dApp on Smart Chain. One of the biggest advantages that I use over here is gold as collateral. Have you ever noticed, there's no way you can really buy digital gold. And even if you could, you can't earn interest on it. Well, I've been buying digital gold for the last couple of months. And yes, I'm earning 4.5 interest on my gold. And I'm using this gold as collateral. Let's say I need to pay a bill. If I get paid in fiat, if I earn money in regular USD, I want to swap that to an appreciating asset, either Bitcoin or gold or something, right? Something I feel that it's going to grow. I don't want to just hold on to fiat, reserve debt notes. So I've been swapping my fiat into gold. And then when I need to pay a bill, I can borrow against it. What I mean by that, I hold, let's say rent for me right now is $3,000. I know it's kind of crazy, but I can hold at least $6,000 in gold over here, and I can borrow out that $3,000 to pay my rent, right? And I think that's pretty cool because this entire time I'm holding gold, it's still appreciating. If you look at what gold did, even just in the winter until now, I believe I'm up about 30 or 40%. So it's more of a stable way to earn. With Bitcoin, I feel a little bad if I'm not up at least 50 to 70%. But when it comes to gold, I'm happy to see 10, 20% to earn throughout the summer. I think it's great, right? I'm not greedy. I just want to get my money. So it's great to come over here and load your gold up as collateral, and you can also borrow against it if need be. And when you borrow against it, I'm gonna show you how you can use that borrowed money in just a second. One to come to MarginFi before we go. A lot of people love the Phantom wallet. So if you want to be able to manage your bank account in your Phantom, then sure, you can come over here and you can lend your soul and you could borrow your USDT against it, right? You can even hold your Ethereum, bomb. Multiple assets you can hold inside this wallet. Use that for collateral and borrow against it. Now, if you see that any of these assets are actually bearish, you can borrow that asset so that you can do what we just talked about, discharge your debt. So a lot of ways to earn from lending borrows, right? So if we did go ahead and load our Solana up here and we wanted to earn on it, what could we do? We load Solana. we borrow from Solana, and then we can farm Solana, right? Let me turn on everything. Oh, it turned off all of them. Let me refresh. There we go. So what I like to do over here is find good places to put my money. That's not so risky, right? I could trade with 100x leverage if I want to, but I can lose everything just by the wind blowing, right? Just by a pullback. Instead, I like to farm. I'd like to, earn 2% and 1% a day through farming. And I do that by pairing these assets together, right? So I load up my asset originally into one of these lend and borrow dApps that I just showed you. After I borrow from that dApp, you got to ask yourself what you're going to do with that money. I come over here and I provide liquidity for different assets so that I'm earning daily percentages. And it's not just on Beefy. This is on multiple different networks, AlphaFi, Turbos. I can give you a whole list of all the assets that you can earn from. And when we come over here to farm, look at these type of APYs. So while I'm holding on to Ethereum as my collateral, I can borrow against that Ethereum. I can use that borrowed money to come and create a farm, right? We see farms over here are paying 56%, 80%. Here's one with Stake Sui and Alpha, two assets that have been doing very good over the past couple of days. And they're actually giving you 146% APY. What bank is doing that? So this is why I like to do private banking. 63% here. And even if you just want to use stable assets, there are ways to earn using those as well. So you don't have to do too much risk. This one, I like Sui and I like Buck because it's another stable asset. This farm is saying they're giving you 1,000%. Y'all see that APR is right there. 4,263% APR right now. If you have Stake Sui and Sui together, that's 4,000%. Sui just dropped by 5% today. And guess what? You'd have earned that 5% just by farming it. So you don't have to panic when the market is going down. You're still providing liquidity the entire time and you're earning from it. We use that interest to pay off our debt. And once the debt is paid, now it's just free money. I hope this hasn't been confusing. And so I'll make sure I explain it a little bit deeper, but this is basic principles of what I do with lend and borrow. Now, are there ways to make money even faster? Of course, if that's your fancy, we could take that borrowed money and we can trade it. I should have had this page already up, but trade on Jupiter, or the one I like most, Merkle. So I take my borrowed money, right? And let's say that I'm bullish on Ethereum. I can load up my Merkle account, come over here, and just quickly trade Ethereum using up to 150x leverage. If you don't want to use nothing that crazy, I understand. Come on down here to 3 where you're safe at. But yes, you can trade anywhere from 3 to 150x leverage to earn over here. So again, don't be too bold. We're looking at Ethereum. It's looking bearish by the charts right now. So if I was to come here and I had some money loaded in this account, I would just take a quick short, using like 10x leverage, sell it. Now, what happens if Ethereum drops by 10%? That debt is down by 10%. But because I'm using 10x leverage, my gains are 100%. I made enough money to pay off my debt. Again, this could be an extreme way to trade. You might feel a little safer just farming and holding spot positions. But if you are a little adventurous and you want to learn more about trading, please reach out. All right, well, that's pretty much all I have for this video. I hope this was helpful. I'm like, oh, dang it. Are you serious? I did all that recording without even sharing. You can't be, I got to delete the video. God, dog. Oh, let me go ahead and stop this video and delete it. My apologies, guys.